In 1986, the government was caught lying and destroying massive amounts of evidence. How did you overcome such challenges, and how were you able to substantiate the claims of the veterans you represented?
It's a good question. It's another issue that I think is a much more commonplace issue than you would think. We were having great difficulty in this. This is the radiation case, and we're having great difficulty getting documents. And we got a very small production, like 2 or 3 boxes, and we'd asked for a lot of stuff, and it just seemed very odd to me that there wouldn't be more and more material. Well, I was called to testify on a judicial review bill in the spring of '86, and it was before Sonny Montgomery's committee, the House Veterans Affairs Committee, and I said, who had been saying for years, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mm-hmm. And I told him right off the top, I said, I'm here to tell you that the corollary of that rule is if it is broke, do fix it, and it's broke. And I went on and on and on and on, and they with examples drawn from my cases of all the violations of due process rights, denials of hearings, delays, the statistics, and I don't think Sonny was very impressed, but some other people were. And when I got back to San Francisco, I got what we call the deep throat letter. And this is a letter from, obviously drawing upon Watergate as an analogy, but a letter from someone at the VA who said in the letter, basically, I attended and saw your testimony before Congress the other day. You are on the right path, but even you don't know how bad it really is. It's far worse than even you think. And then he said, I would suggest you request the following documents. And he gave a long laundry list with titles and report numbers and everything. So I just took that and we sent out a document request. And over the course of the next year, little did I know was that what had actually happened, and we finally got to the bottom of this, is when they got the document request, they did their first routine house cleaning of their files since the 1890s, because they had documents in the files back to the 1890s, and they stripped away everything that was longer than 2 years old. They sent it all to the shredder.
After receiving the document request? Clearly
after receiving the document request.
Unbelievable.
Went to the shredder, an estimated 3-point-some million pages went through the shredder, and I got a second letter in the middle of that process, or near the end actually. You better do something because they're shredding all your documents. We went out and got a temporary restraining order. It was served on the VA, and there were 25 boxes left. And you know what they consisted of? This is a radiation case. Mm-hmm. Okay? Correspondence between the VA and the Defense Nuclear Agency about radiation doses for veterans. And these were what they were destroying, amongst the things they were destroying, and they were the most clearly relevant documents in the entire case, and they'd all been requested. And they saved the last 25 boxes, which is about 50,000 pages. Well, the sanctions motions went on for over a year because it turned out not only had they done that, they had lied in their interrogatory responses, they had lied in their responses to the document requests, they had lied in motions filed with the court, submitted false testimony and declarations. It was a huge, huge problem, and it just mushroomed. And by fighting everything, they fought everything, instead of conceding it, even the most obvious points, they just went down. It just should a good example of how not to defend an issue where the facts are really pretty bad.
Right.
You know, the lawyers just gotta. Sometimes lawyers have, influence with their clients. Probably less so in government because it's a little different of a situation from a typical setting. But it's a case where they should have settled it very early on.
That's just astounding. That's amazing.